Hello and welcome to the pre-Moonbase 2 show. Hello, me. Hello, I'm Andy. Hello, this is Big D.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Big D?
It's going pretty decent, actually.
Woo, good.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
be, obviously, this is pre-show, but we are going to be doing Combiner Wars.
Yeah.
The first of the modern day trilogy kind of design team
Yeah.
toy marketing that they've stuck with now for years.
Hmm. And
Well, since 2015, which is when it kicked off. So 10 years
yeah,
we've been doing this kind of style, which is kind of funny.
it is. And kind of it marked a bit of a shift for the Generations line overall, really, didn't it? Because
It
it
did,
was.
yeah.
I'm trying to think how the best to phrase it. There felt like there was a lot. Each set that each kind of portion of the trilogy that they did has since then it's always felt a lot more focused than in years before Combiner Wars.
Yeah,
So
in a way, yeah.
each
Well,
yeah, so
everything
they.
before that was just like re-envisioning of G1,
Mm,
which is what I would say like Generations and all that kind of stuff was.
yeah, I mean, you had the odd bit like we chatted with the Thrilling 30 stuff where they dipped into a bit of Beast Wars and Beast Machines, but it was always the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
But then it was always kind of taking the classic G1 concepts and giving them a bit of a polish up for the modern era,
Mm-hmm.
updating. So a lot of them, you can tell they're the G1 characters, but they've been given an update. So they're, and that was kind of like what drew me into the classics line originally. Combiner Wars kind of marked a bit of a point where we started to see them get perhaps a little too fond of going full G1.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So they were a bit too. It's not fully there because there is some actually quite fun bits in Combiner Wars I am quite fond of that are kind of fresh and represent new takes on characters. But there are some though which are a bit like, you're not really trying very hard, are you?
Well, let's play some music and we can get into it, eh?
Yeah.
All
Hell
right,
yeah.
music time.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy Decade Andy here. We're joined by Big D once again to talk about the toys. Hello, Big D.
Yeah. Hey man, how you doing?
Not too bad. 10 years ago, or nearly 10 years ago, because that's 2011, no, 2015, and it's so about 11 years or so, we had
Yeah.
Combiner Wars, the line
We
which
did.
dedicated itself purely to the art of combining figures.
Mm.
For some better and for some worse, because I don't
Yeah.
know, we probably don't need to talk about QC here, because we're not going to talk massively about the deluxes, which QC is the big hitter with. I would
Yeah.
argue. And I don't think we need to talk about repetition too hard until again we hit into the deluxe line.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of it in the Legends class, but nowhere near as much.
No,
They
like
tend-
as soon as we move on to deluxes and voyages onwards, that's when repetition becomes and QC becomes a big issue
Yeah.
with this line. But
Yeah,
you know,
and it's kind of just getting it out of the way ahead of time. It's kind of the pitfall you're into when you're like they've done here. They're adapting the Scramble City concept, and as a Scramble City love letter, Combiner Wars rules pretty hard.
yeah,
If you
mostly the ideas and the way they implement their gimmick is pretty successful. But again, that's more of a deluxe conversation than what we have here, which we'll be mainly focusing on today, which will be the Legends figures, which have a minor combinability. They slightly interact. I'll say slightly. They slightly interact with the Combiner Wars combined mode figures, as we'll go through.
But
We'll
not
see that they
all of
have
them.
the same mode.
Some of them do. Some of them, as we'll see in our first instance, perhaps were supposed to, but never got fully through for confirmation process.
Yeah, like it's. I guess we may as well start talking about it. For the first one we're talking about, it's Bombshell.
Yeah.
Like you said, one that doesn't really interact with the rest, and to me this feels like a carrier. I don't know if it says here in the blurb, but it feels like a leftover from the previous wave, because we had like shrapnel, and we had did we have kickback? No, we didn't get kickback till years later, right?
Yeah, kickback came out, I think, in Titan's Return.
That's
If I remember,
okay.
because you
Oh,
could fit
that's
something
right.
in his chest. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, this feels like a layover from that aspect, because this Bombshell doesn't have any way to interact with the big boys. Though they
no,
do
but he
mention he
has.
has
But as
5 mm
they
post
point
on his
out,
knees for some reason.
as they point out in the comments for him, he does have details. So his forearms have blaster / thruster details, and there are 5mm posts on his knees / beetle mode ass.
Yeah,
which
but they don't do anything. They're just there.
Yeah, there's no instructions, and there's never been anything officially confirmed.
No, it means that as a Combiner Wars giant Gasalt figure, I guess you could hold him by his ass and swing him around like a giant beetle bat.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, supposedly you
you
could
know.
probably you can possibly turn him into a gun of some sort, but
Oh, that'd be a
I
rough
think
gun.
yeah, I mean, I think the big issue is who would he go with, because all the others kind of have a team that they match with.
Yeah,
and the Insecticons don't.
Yeah, no. Again,
At all.
Bombshell's just a. That's why I say he feels like a layover from a previous line. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it came with the. You remember how the other ones came with like little minicom partners. I wouldn't be shocked if he was meant to come with a little minicom partner who maybe could plug into his ass or something.
Yeah, or if he was kind of on the drawing board for Thrilling 30. They ran out of budget, and then they thought, well, we've still got him to do. What can we do with him in Combiner Wars? Added some bits to him, and just never. Rather than deleting those from the design, they just left them on there for the final build, which is so weird.
Yeah, it could be the case. It's a shame, because I think like he's pretty good. He's got a few things that I don't like. And one being, I'm pretty sure, you can correct me here, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a head swivel.
No, I don't think he does.
No,
between how his insect mode bit folds over and those honking great shoulder pads, yeah, there's not really anywhere for his head to go anyway. So
no, but you definitely could have a little bit of articulation in there. It'd be like saying Armada Megatron doesn't need any head articulation because his shoulders will get in the way of it anyway. It's like, well, you know, it should probably still be there.
But it is a decent old Bombshell, though. I mean, until we got for Deluxe Insecticons the last few years, I mean, these 3 Legends versions, Shrapnel, Kickback, and Bombshell, across Brilliant 30, Combiner Wars, and Titan's Return, they were kind of my Insecticons, because they filled that slot, you know? They were small, they were clearly the G1 versions of the characters, just given a bit of an articulation and refresh. Not perfect, but they filled the gap.
Yeah.
And they were cheap. They were cheap as well.
Yeah. There would have been about £6 to £8, something like that.
Yeah, might have been up to a tenner for Kickback, possibly.
I'm trying to remember when Scouts and Legends moved into being £12. Because that's when that was the point when I started getting annoyed at like the pricing of Legends.
Actually, that might have been Titan's Return. Actually, because
was it not later than Titan's Return? I want to say it was maybe a bit later than that. Wasn't it not like Power of the Primes onwards? Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Actually,
I did not dip into Power of the Primes at all. I was done like heavily buying Transformers at that point because of the QC issues with Power of the Primes, but. Bombshell was pretty good in terms of his QC. Another issue I think it's worth mentioning is in his Stag Beetle mode or Horn Beetle mode, whatever it is. His insect legs don't really hold him up. Yeah,
no, not at all.
They're implied, and they do look like beetle legs, but like his main robot arms are the thing that are balancing him on the table, which is a shame. Especially, again, compared to, like, Chop Shop and Shrapnel. whose legs like held them up pretty sturdily. To be fair, this guy's it's the illusion of the legs working rather than them actually work, which is a shame.
Yeah, well, it is, because otherwise it's a nice deco.
Mm-hmm.
It's not completely G1. It's a little, because they've not gone for full silver head for this one. It's just for mouth plate with the red eyes. That kind of works actually. And even though it's that grey plastic we don't really like to see very often on Hasbro, for an Insecticon, it works.
And it's only a small amount. It's only like his hip joints and thighs, and then a small bit of the abdomen region, and that's it.
Yeah,
So if it was
antenna,
like,
but that's almost nothing.
Yeah, if it was in like his forearms and more on his, if they'd gone with the cartoon color scheme for him, effectively, where he's primarily gray, I think he would have looked kind of cheap and nasty because they would have used that gray on him and it would have been like, ugh. But they didn't. They went for. I want to say this is in. I don't know why. In my mind, I keep thinking, does this look like the Dreamwave version of him? Because I can't remember how that looks.
He does a bit, doesn't he?
I keep seeing the image in my head of like Bombshell in a swamp pushing a tree aside. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Similar.
But he's got that richer purple. The yellow's more of an orange tint. That kind of Avalon sunset kind of color.
Yes, it's not. That's a great point. It's not piss yellow. It's a good strong yellow.
The black is more of an off grey color, more than a pure black, which in the plastic, which is actually again quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Bombshell I think is pretty good, and I'm just looking at the adventure version, and I'm really torn because I like both. I think I prefer the the Combiner Wars one though, but I could see the adventure one working as a different character. Because it's still an Insecticon deco, but he swapped out the purple. A lot of the purple's gone in place of that off black.
Whereabouts is the image of the Adventures one?
If you click on the link for Legacy Bombshell.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry, mine was Bombshell.
Yeah, there it is. And then there was the Shed Glass one, right? No, the model was used. It wasn't actually the figure. Okay. Okay. The Adventures one. The Adventures one has gone with they've tried to make it into the G1 animation accurate version with more grays. So they actually did a better job than what I thought they would do, because they've painted the purple in more of a gunmetal gray and then offset it with the unpainted Hasbro gray, and then they've chromed up the head for some reason, which is odd. But looks reasonably nice, I suppose.
It does. I mean, if you wanted to say that you had Bombshell and this was like Bomb Shock or something.
Yeah,
that'd work. I mean, they're both good decos.
The only negative is obviously the QR code nonsense crap on him, but
bless them.
Yeah,
they really tried to make that a thing, didn't they?
Yeah, well, everybody uses QR codes, so what a good idea, right? Yeah. But yeah, a good, strong, solid figure. I didn't actually think he was Wave 1, to be honest, so I was kind of surprised when popped him up there and said, oh yeah, Wave 1, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one that's pretty good, from what I remember, is Power Glide. Sorry, Autobot Power Glide, because he's naming conventions and copyright and whatnot. So as far as I'm aware, wasn't this the last Power Glide we had until like the recent one?
Yeah. I think they had him down like gears to be a character in Earthrise, but that never materialized. He was in the artwork for it, the key art they did.
Okay.
It's taken till this year.
About 10, 11 years later, then Power Glide gets his figure.
I mean, given it was 7 years between this and the huge chonker of a Power Glide.
Was it really? From the
2008? So
wow.
So 7 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They pull Power Glide out, just not frequently, which is fair enough. This is another really good little figure. He's got a nice transformation. I really like how the wings fold up and tab into position and lock in there for his shoulders. It looks like Power Glide. You don't look at him and go, this is a different take on him. It's like, no, this is just how Power Glide is.
It's got all the features, and it's executed in a really... I'm probably going to say this about a lot of stuff in this line. in a really fun, toyetic way, but not in a way that means that it's simplified or it doesn't kind of get your creative bit of your mind running when you're doing it, you know?
Okay. I will say that it does suffer a little bit, mainly in the plane mode, and that's due to like the fists being completely visible under the wings.
Yeah.
There's no hiding them at all. I wouldn't mind if they were just big like fuel tankers or intakes or something, but the fact that you can see the actual fist and the fist peg hole, that's a bit of a bummer.
It's a little bit of a shame. It's
not
what
a huge
you
issue,
can, yeah, it's the flip side to dealing with a Legends price point, unfortunately.
yeah. The other thing I'm not a big fan of is how the thighs form the a little bit of the back section of the plane. So you go from a red and then hard gray plastic, and then back to red again.
Yeah, it's a little sudden, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, that's how Powerglide's color scheme is. This is the only way you can work it into the figure. I get it. It's just it's an issue, and it's always worth pointing out that issue. And you go, what are you gonna do?
It's understandable, but it will be a factor for some folks.
Yeah, it's ugly, and that's fine. And he has a third mode, which is a gun.
I'm not sure if I'd call it a gun or an artillery piece, because it's ludicrous. It's got two big cannon barrels and then 2 racks of mini missiles. It's hilarious.
The rack of mini missiles is just basically the underside of his forearms. So again,
yeah,
looks a bit weird. I don't entirely mind the idea of using the I don't know, the engines of the plane and pretending that they're a flamethrower or a gun. That kind of works, and it gives you the idea of a gun shape. Then it's got
the little sight that pops up, the sight popping up is cute. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's a nice idea to try and help push it again. But it's just
they could probably have not bothered with the missiles, to be fair.
Yeah, but then what do you do with the arms? Because then the arms would just be there, you know. So
I mean, honestly, I would probably have tried to do something to have the arms give a bit of support to the waist, because the biggest issue with that gun mode is that it droops.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I completely forgot. Good call.
Because of the hips are holding all the weight of the legs horizontal, and they're not up to it.
Yeah, I think the only way you can like stop that is by flipping the sight down, right, and having that pegged together.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think it holds it terribly well.
No, I mean, to be fair, that sight piece is only using like 2 very thin little pokier pegs and would be holding it together. So that's still, like you say, a lot of weight.
Yep.
So, I mean, compared to Bombshell's Beetle Twatting mode, I guess this is an improvement. It's not great.
I mean, at least it's been designed intentionally to be something.
Yes, rather than Bombshell's
it's not been left there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. I still think this is a good figure, worth playing around with. It's fun, even though, like I mentioned, has a few flaws here and there. XL Head says, I would have called them Bombshell and Hardshell. That's another way you could have gone as well.
Yeah.
And disappointed we haven't gotten a upgrade kit for the deluxe. Give him a his gun mode for Superion.
Oh, deluxe power glide into a gun. That'd be kind of epic, to be honest, wouldn't it?
Sure. Would he? Yeah, no, he's got ratchet joints in his elbows for Superion, doesn't he?
Yeah. For the current crop of combiners are quite sturdy in the limbs. In fairness.
I couldn't remember. I thought that was the case, but it'd be neat. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
DNA or most of the upgrade companies wouldn't look to this line and be like, we need to make a reference for that. Unfortunately, I think it would be fun.
I'm sure there'll be someone though out there doing it as like a nylon print. Or 3D printed upgrade kit. So
maybe. I mean, it still could happen. Is Power Glide out at this point, or is he still coming soon? I'm thinking he's out, right? At least in America.
Sure. Yeah, I think he's hit America and Australia. I don't think he's come out over here yet, though.
I don't think so. I think you can get him obviously from like import places, but I don't think we have him officially just yet.
Yeah. I will say one other nice thing about this Power Glide, I love that they made him part of the aerial bots in this.
Why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was, other than Jetfire, he and Cosmos were the first flyers in the Autobot.
Yep.
So generally available. And then you had the Aerobots, and then Powerglide was kind of just redundant after that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, he got a couple of episodes for G1.
Yeah, he did.
First time
but
in this.
But it's nice that they kind of rolled him in and gave him a. And the fact that he's the A10 that becomes a whacking your hand cannon.
Yeah.
Is, again, kind of fun.
Feels like it works. Welcome, Rodimus Power Toy Collector. Hope you're doing well from Germany. He says, greetings from Germany.
Hey,
from German land. The other version, well, there's a couple of other versions of Powerglide, but the one we're going to be talking about next is the Superion Collection Pack. This was the Combiner Wars version. Oh, this was the G2 version of them. So Powerglide got a new color scheme with the G2 Autobot insignia on him, and they've kind of, sort of, just reversed his colors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not
inverted,
really.
right for red, changed the grey to a silver.
Well, it was more like a creamy kind of grey, but I get what you're saying, and the silver looks a lot nicer here. It's actually quite a nice color scheme. I'm 90% sure this color scheme of primarily silver and red we've seen on a G2 Transformer before. Wasn't it one of the bikes?
I'm sure someone's had it in G2.
I'm sure.
If they didn't, I'll be amazed because it's such a G2 color scheme, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks good though.
It does. I like that silver's got that kind of grey knight steelish tint to it, so it's a bit more on the blue end of spectrum.
I think maybe because cameras don't take photos of red desperately well, it kind of mushes his face details a little bit here. But I think this is a nice looking one. It's not my favorite Powerglide redo though. He's not up yet.
No.
This one's good.
My favorite is coming up shortly, hopefully.
Oh, is it the Adventures one? Is it that one?
Oh, no.
No. This one, they've definitely gone with the whitey, creamy kind of color. And then they've darkened down the red, so he's more maroony. Otherwise, he's pretty much the same. Oh, he's got extra Autobot insignias on his wings as well. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, they've changed the missiles in his back of his forearms as well to be red for some reason. I don't know why.
Interesting choice there.
I don't think this is better than the original version, to be fair.
No.
I like the saturated red. Is this this is probably more cartoon accurate though, or at least original toy accurate, right?
Actually, this is much more original toy accurate. So you've got that much more crimsony red going on.
Just like okay. I like bright poppy red. I mean, the crimson red. That's fine, but
But I'm liking that between so far with the Legends, the Takara ones, they're not as essential as some of the other repaints we've seen in the past. It feels much more. Well, this gives you options.
Yeah.
If you wanted that toy deco, then you've got this to go with, and it's not a bad deco.
No.
This nor Bombshell have been bad redecos, but I agree. I think I prefer the Hasbro take, to be fair.
Yeah, I would say so. This is my favorite one. It's the Combiner Wars Decepticon Viper.
Hell yeah.
This is obviously, for those not aware, I don't know who wouldn't be aware, this is a recolor and a new head sculpt to make him into a
Wild Weasel.
Yeah, Wild Weasel's Cobra Rattler. Yeah, they've given the combined Decepticon Cobra insignia, which I like. And then the head sculpt is made to look like Wild Weasel's flight helmet, which is, again, pretty neat.
Yeah. This was such an unexpected toy when it got announced. And the execution is just...
It's great. Yeah. Instead of a red jet, he's now blue. And instead of the creamy kind of gray color, he's just like solid, like gray, like stone gray color, and it works really nicely.
It does. That darker gray means where you have that transition in the hips to the rear of the jet mode. It's not as harsh as between a red to a gray.
Yeah,
it's still noticeable, but it's not as noticeable. The silver on the intake on the exhaust of the engines means that they pop a bit more as well than the black on Powerglide. They've painted the missiles in that nice bronze over the top of a black background, which is it feels like someone on the team went, you know what, I'm gonna do my GI Joe tribute here, and we're just gonna put all the budget into it.
You know what it kind of reminds me of in a way? It reminds me of like when G.I. Joe randomly threw in Matt Tracker
Yes.
into their line. And
that
that's
was
kind of
around
the
the
vibe
time,
here.
wasn't it?
That
Not
was
too far off it. This was not too far off that, was it?
I don't think so. I think this was reasonably close to that. It's maybe a shame that they weren't able to get like a mask reference in the Legends line here as well. That would have been quite nice. I don't know what you would have done or who you would have done it with, but another thing would have been reasonably nice, I think. But I can't remember what Z06 means though on the wing. Probably tells you here.
I think that may have been one of the decals off the Rattler.
It says, and the Z0 with a line through it, 6 marking of a Rattler pilot. Oh, it's his personal Rattler number. For why I'm guessing it seems like from the description there.
And I will say this figure in its weapon mode goes brilliantly with Bruticus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It pairs up real nice.
Obviously, still has the issue of the droopiness with the legs.
Yeah,
but in terms of the color scheme working together, it works well.
Yeah. And it just gives you even more hardware to whack on the big dumb brute.
Yeah, I do like this one. This one's a really solid little figure. XLhead says, don't mind me while I build my Blockies Defender Wave 5. And is it bad? I want a classified Rattler take to fit into a Cobra Shell. A Rattler take to fit into a Cobra Shell. That'd be a nice idea.
I mean, the classified Rattler is
big and expensive.
Yes, expensive, but also loaded with gubbins.
Where's the Chinese knockoff version that can transform into Viper? That would be fun.
God, can you imagine if they did like the Sky Striker and the Rattler in their GI Joe scales, classified scale, or they transformed? That'd be your Titans for the year. That would. Yeah,
that'd be pretty fun. I think it would cost too much, unfortunately. And you wouldn't be able to put in a figure into them. But maybe that wouldn't be the point of them. Maybe the point would be so they would look identical or close to identical to the standard Rattler. They just wouldn't be able to house a figure inside them.
I think they'd find a way to give you Ace or Wild Weasel. If you probably wouldn't get the extra pilots, but you'd get the core one for each one.
You mean to fit in the robot as well? Or vehicle mode. Okay.
Yeah, you do full get in the robot Shinji.
Because I was thinking of like how because I have the hiss, and like the hiss is quite tight and packed up already, and if you wouldn't be able to have it transform into a robot and then also have like 4 to 5 figures in the back of it as well.
That's
you
true.
Have the one in the front probably, but not the 4 in the back.
Yeah, because the Megatron hiss only works at 3 3/4 inch,
and that's a mess of a figure. That was a bad boy. Oof.
Yeah.
You can see what they were trying, but it didn't work. XLhead says Haslab Viper for G.I. Joe. That'd be nice. That'd be cute.
Yeah. I mean, I own 3 of Viper.
Oh, really? Okay, you wanted the squad.
Yeah, I just wanted to troop build with them because it's so fun and cute. And I love the idea of just having a little mini squadron of the little bastards.
As we're looking through these, there is one thing I remember, which generally across the Legends line for this, I think is a little bit disappointing, and it's the fact none of them come with a weapon.
Yeah,
but they feel a little bit naked without just a gun or something really simple in the hand. I think that would have been nice if all of these just got one really basic gun. Not a huge deal, don't get me wrong. It's just
but I get where you're coming from. It's a real shame that only I think there's only a couple of them that have any weapons as an extra piece. Everyone else, it's just for robot and Rock'em Sock'em Robot time.
Oh, you got the card as well, if you remember. The really thick, dense card.
Yeah, which it's nice that they were using the art from the Legends digital card game for something.
Yes.
I mean, I still wish that they would do just a big old coffee table book full of all that artwork, because it was some pretty decent artwork.
It was nice artwork. The other use of this mold was for the Adventures line, which was Dogfight versus Decepticon Run Amok. So
I somehow missed this entirely because I knew about Run Amok. I just must have blanked Dogfight somehow.
And it's specifically using the Viper mold, so it's got the Viper head. And he's in a lighter dark blue and then a very, very light blue. So he's still technically in the same color wheel area as Viper, but he's different enough that I think it's fine. Maybe don't put them next to each other on the shelf. Is what I would recommend.
I mean, it's not because Dogfight was the trigger bot, wasn't he? With forward swept wings.
That's right.
And because I've always liked a forward swept wing fighter, the old X-29 concept fighter, which is what he was based on, and also the Conquest X-30 from G.I. Joe, funnily enough.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to be a real fighter jet nerd back in the day. But it's kind of a shame we haven't had a proper update of Dogfight or any of the trigger bots for that matter.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because, I mean, if you did Dogfight, you could just repaint him into the G.I. Joe vehicle, to be fair.
Yeah.
Give him a new head and call him something else, and that would work.
Absolutely. I will say, though, for reusing the Power Glide mold and the Viper head, this kind of works. They're in a bit of a, because neither of the heads really matches Dogfight's head from the original toy, and this one at least means that you've got two Autobot A10s in Legend scale, but at least they have different heads.
Yeah, there's also a thing of like Power Glide's head. I think is, especially with that body, you just go, oh yes, Power Glide. At least with this, you go, well, that's not Power Glide. And like you said, if you had them standing next to each other, they have the different heads, so they do look a little bit different next to each other at the very least.
Yeah.
And the extra stickers on his wings again add an extra little bit of pop as well.
They do, and it's using what was on his wings on the original toy, so that's nice that they put that little bit of extra detail. So that's cool, and I like how they've switched up the plastics they've used on the forearms and the tail fins. So they've reversed those two bits' colours.
Yes, that's right.
It's a little thing, and I think for the chest plate as well, but it does work quite nicely for him. It helps him stand out from the other two uses of the mold.
Yeah, so. And to be fair, like, well, you know, you're not going to probably make a brand new mold for Dogfight, are you?
Not really. No.
Yeah. Nah. So it'd be unusual. It could happen. It's just very unlikely.
I mean, it took from what? 7 years to do all the trigger cons. No, 7 years to do all. 7 years to do all the double target masters for the Decepticons.
Oh yeah.
And Quake got done twice.
Yep.
And we still haven't had the rest of the Autobot double target masters. Yeah. So we can see where the priorities are.
Yeah, Scoop's coming. Quick Mix. Don't hold your breath for Quick Mix anytime soon. Same for Landfill, unless they just go and get the
reused Constructicons.
Yeah, and that would be.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they'd have to do some.
Yeah, you have to do some work, definitely.
Yeah, because those two especially have so much about them that's distinct to the two Constructicons that doesn't really carry over to. I
think you might be able to squiff it with Landfill just because, like, his original toy, he's such a wide boy and he looks just silly. I do agree with Mixmaster and Quick Mix. That would be harder to do, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, at least. XL Head says, so would the deluxe repaint of Viper still have his heart, or would they remold it to be a Cobra logo? No, you have it as a heart, but then you put, like, a picture of the Baroness in the center of it.
Yeah.
Or Destro. Maybe Viper loves Destro, something like that.
Or you do the heart, but you do something like you cover it in fawns or some edgy shit like that.
Yeah, that would be edgy. Oh, yeah, you could have, like, maybe you do a reference to, Bullet for My Valentine? Do you remember those kind of bands?
Yeah.
Maybe you could do a reference to like that. I mean, the easy answer would be, well, not easy as in like cost wise, but the easy answer is just be like, yeah, just remold it to be a Cobra logo. But the fun way
Yeah.
would be to keep the heart and try and finagle it to work in a
Yeah.
silly way where it's a bit more of a joke.
I mean, have it be a heart with a picture of Baroness on would be very funny.
Yeah, you'd open it up and be like, what the fuck? Mr. White said, or Zarana. That could be quite fun as well.
Yeah,
Zarana was a spicy lady. Mr. White says he would also make a nice Storm Shot from this mold. That's true. Storm Shot not being a super popular character, that could work as well.
Yeah.
From there, we move on to a character who never gets figures. It's Thundercracker. That's right. You never see him come.
Yeah.
What's it say? This was based off the thrilling 30s Acid Storm, so we must have talked about this, right?
Yeah, I think we did just because there were so goddamn many repaints of that toy.
Yep, and this is another one.
Yes. It's a Thundercracker at legend scale.
But yeah, the image here, you can flip the wings up, but for some reason they haven't flipped the wings up in this image for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe if they just had too many Seekers and were kind of at the end of their tether and like, no,
it's fine. I'm not flipping. Yeah, I'm not flipping the wings up. That's too much for my pay grade. No. We'll skip this one because we must have talked about it. We must have.
Yeah.
Another one that I think we talked about last time was, did we talk about the wind charge redo of Tailgate?
Yeah.
Did we?
Pretty sure
we not?
We did because we mentioned that it didn't come with. Wait, did it come with?
This one doesn't come with anything, remember?
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have mentioned it, yeah.
Either way, it's Tailgate again, so it's a bit of a weird transformer.
Yeah.
He's got weird feet. But it was the first. This was a downgrade from the previous Wind Charger, the one that was really hard to get from a couple of years prior to this. This would not have been one people were super thrilled to get, I would say. So we can nip through this.
It's a nice alt mode, but yeah.
It's just not as good as the previous version. So an actual new figure we have, super new, because he's a brand new character, is Blackjack.
Yeah.
One that interacts more directly, but not really, with a combiner.
Kind of a new figure. He's kind of based on one of the old Decepticon minicons.
Yes.
And I kind of love that.
Yes.
Yeah, Micromasters.
He's got the color scheme of being black and gold with a bit of purple, but then he doesn't look anything like him in terms of like the car that he transforms into or the design that he looks in robot mode.
No. Yeah, so, that's a bit of a shame. But the figure itself is one I'm actually quite fond of, actually.
Same. It's not bad. I don't like how it interacts with Menasor, but I understand what it's meant to be. For those not aware, this is meant to be Menasor's weird police
chest
car
plate thing. The weird thing that always went on G1 Menasor's chest and made you think, what the hell is that?
What is this? This isn't in the cartoon.
Yeah, and it forced the category of, congratulations, you've joined a combiner team. Great, what do I do? Well, you're my chest armor. I'm your what?
Your roller. You're my roller. Oh, so completely worthless. Yes.
No, you can take one shot for me.
Oh, that's true.
And that one shot is all that matters to me. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so this doesn't interact with Menasor desperately well. You can also use its weapon, which is a axe spoiler.
Yeah. It's a spoiler axe / cannon for the car mode.
Which again looks a bit awkward. You can then awkwardly stick that onto the front of the chest of Menasor on top of the car for a look. I don't think it's a good look, but if you're going to use Blackjack, don't use the axe with him. I would argue for the combined mode.
I mean, because
it's a bit silly looking.
It is, unfortunately.
That's the problem. But the robot, I'd say the robot mode's really good. It's a good little toy.
It's very posable. I don't think it can quite do my. It doesn't pass my spin kick test, where I balance the toy on one foot and see if I can make it stand up on one leg doing a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, that's an issue because he doesn't really have like separate.
Doesn't really have a hip spurt.
Well, no, there's no real. There's no
was,
ankle joint. He has more little nubs coming out of like the bottom of his shins.
Yeah.
And they're not really angled as well as they could be for like good, strong, sturdy feet positions. Unfortunately,
no, which is a shame because he's got great maneuverability in all his other joints.
Yeah,
that are there. To be honest, he's got a it's a head swivel, which wasn't always a guarantee with this scale, as we've seen with Bombshell.
Yep.
Shoulders, decent. Elbows, do the job. Hands, they don't do much, but they can hold stuff pretty well. He's got a nice range of movement of the hips. Knees are solid. If the feet had even if there's just a little bit more of a heel spur, I should say, that would probably have helped with his balance. But overall, I like him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you just have Stunticons expanding to have. I like when these teams expand the roster so there are more random goobers on there. And the Stunticons feel like a team that would have random goobers out the ass. Because it's Motormaster finding whichever idiots he can recruit this week before they get totaled.
Yeah, a stunt gone wrong.
Yeah, you got to imagine the life expectancy of a Stunticon in the Decepticon army must be right down at the bottom amongst all the teams. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, solid figure. Good transformation. Yeah. Nice look. Did get reused a couple of times. He got reused for. Hang on, let's get those links up and running. First up, he was used in the G2 set for Metasaur, so they changed its color scheme again to quite a nice one, which is a metallic-y purple and a very bright blue color. So again, I think it's similar to actually Motormaster's color scheme, so which makes sense because you got to have him mush in with the combined mode. So that works. That's good enough. But on its own, he stands quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, and it's the sort of deco that would work if you wanted to have this guy and the regular Blackjack release, and just say, well, we have two of these idiots. we have a spare.
Yeah. XL Head says the joke works better as Prime's using Rodimus as a meat shield as payback for the movie. True.
Yes, that is fair.
May as well talk about it now. Oh, it doesn't take me to the image straight away, does it? There it is. Yes, so one of the other redos is he has a brand new head. Otherwise, it is Hot Rod. But for some reason, he does not have an Autobot insignia on the front of his car mode. In the middle of this big fire effect, which is odd.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not like it's getting in the way of anything.
And it's not like other Blackjacks have had it before, because the one we just looked at, the G2 one, had a G2 insignia in not the exact same spot, but a little bit higher up, a pretty similar spot.
And I mean, there is space on that flame effect to put one of whatever size you like.
Yeah.
So
and I don't know why.
Weird.
It does feel like he's missing something. Like even if he didn't want to use the Autobot insignia, put like a bird in the center of there, like a phoenix kind of look.
Yeah.
Something.
I must admit, this one, even though it does have a new head sculpt and that flame deco on the chest, it felt like they were just kind of stretching a little bit to include Hot Rod in the line.
You can kind of see what they're trying to do, because it's got the spoiler kind of thing.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a shout out to the old Micromaster Hot Rod that came with Star Convoy.
I agree. So it doesn't work. It feels it's one of the combiner things where it's like this feels like one of the forced ones of. Do you remember this named character? Well, he's also in Combiner Wars. Look, you're stupid. You'll buy him because it's Rodimus, right? And there are a lot of figures that are like that in this line, I feel.
And it's a bit of a shame because actually the colors, they're quite nice. It's a nice deep plastic they've used for him. It's a nice yellow plastic they've used. I mean, I wonder if it had just been a different head, kept the same head sculpt and called it a different character. Maybe do a different deco on the bonnet of the car so it wasn't Hot Rod. But
I mean, if it wasn't a Hot Rod, that would have helped
it probably would have.
in itself. But that's they were doing it so they could go, oh look, that's Hot Rod, go buy Hot Rod.
Yeah,
Because
because
that's
it's
what
Hot
the
Rod to
entire
sell.
team
Yeah,
is. Because it's like a redo of Menasor into Optimus Prime, which was then redone into Ultra Magnus or Nova Prime. Was it Nova Prime?
No, it was.
Was it Ultra Magnus?
No, it was still Optimus Prime. Weirdly,
It's just White Prime.
Battle Nova Prime or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we'll get to it later on, but
yeah.
It's definitely one of them. You can even see like the combined version. He doesn't quite fit because obviously he's bright and red, and the Prime body is just white. So again, just doesn't mix in desperately well. There, to be honest,
it's a weird one because in that particular combiner torso, you just leave the chest closed and it works quite nicely.
I usually left the chest closed because it looked better. A lot better.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Hot Rod, I don't think you were the big winner here. However, being done into Runabout and Runamuck, I think works pretty well.
It did.
Pretty good, to be honest. And these also are these brand new heads? Or the
I think they are. Yeah, they did a new head for them, and there was a time where I was really debating picking these up because I was on a battle charger kick because I was at a soft spot for them.
Yeah.
This was around when I picked up the Collectors Club versions.
They do have a few too many Decepticon insignias on them, though.
I mean, we go from Hot Rod, who has nothing, and then these guys have just gone, I want everyone to know who I am.
They have
who I fight for.
Six separate Decepticon insignias.
Yeah, it's the old Ron Swanson gag. No. You think I said bring me some of the Decepticon logos? I said give me all the logos.
Yeah. Like obviously the QR code, that one they had to have. They didn't need to have 2 on the shoulder and then 2 on the forearms and then 1 on the front of the car as well.
That's really funny.
I love way too much. It makes them look, it makes them look silly, I think.
But somehow it just works with these 2 idiots because you can imagine they're kind of like the 2 who would do that, and they'd do it with completely unapologetically. Be like,
I think you could justify it with like headcanon, but for me it's too much, and it's like
it does. I get where you're coming from, though, but I just I love the silliness, but I understand where you're coming from as well. So.
Yeah, it's a bizarre idea, but otherwise, again, these are just. It was a good idea to do these because the cars work reasonably well with them. The color schemes again are obviously very simple, and the new head helps also sell it a little bit as well.
Yeah,
I'm a little. I wish they'd swapped a con logo for some street art designs. Yes, that would have been nice. A nice nod to the G1 comics. I 100% agree, Mr. White. 100%.
I mean, I would have liked a bit of orange on Runamuck, but that's been a bit of a gripe for me for most Runamucks outside the Collectors Club version.
Where would you just gone on him? Do you think instead of the yellow, or would you keep the yellow bits on him as well?
It's weird because Runabout's supposed to have the orange kind of replacing most of the inner frame, so his thighs, his hips, and his lower torso, and then it shows up kind of behind his head.
Yeah, that's right.
So I get that it's a difficult one to apply, but they kind of err on the side just making him as white as possible.
Yeah.
With then spot colors of black and yellow or orange sometimes, but never really enough for my mind. Runabout is fine because he kind of works with just being almost solid black with red spot colors here and there.
Oh yeah, but technically his legs or like the thighs upwards, from knees upwards should be red, right?
They should be as well. Yeah. Yeah, but there's something about an all black mini figure works better than an all white one. Because although for black it's also a little washed out, it tends to pick up the details better. For white, you just can't really pick up anything because of
it just gets mushed together again.
The intense whiteness of it all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but these are pretty good.
Yeah,
better than Hot Rod.
They were they were unexpected, and again, it gives you even more goons to add to the Stunticons. You almost have a whole separate team just of the blackjack mold.
That's true.
Which is kind of hilarious.
Now, one that I didn't get because I thought he looked kind of lame was I didn't get Groove.
Yeah.
Spindly, thin groove. Ozempic groove.
Yeah, this was disappointing to say the least.
In two ways. One, because it took Groove out from being a deluxe figure, unless you went to Japan. But Japan went, no, we got you covered. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, and then we had to wait like 2 years almost.
Yeah, well, I don't remember Hasbro telling people, oh yeah, you're definitely going to get him.
No, they didn't confirm it for a while. I think he came out as a Gen Select figure, technically.
Something like that. It's the usual Hasbro tactic of like, nah, we're not going to tell you until the last time, the last minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're doing him. It's like Combiner Wars is over, dude.
I mean, it kind of sucks because the Protectobots were the only team where they did this, where they didn't give you a member of the classic lineup.
That's not true.
No, what I mean is
I see what you're saying.
Because all the others, they kind of swapped out one of the classic lineup, but they gave you someone else, and then the Legends figure was another character as well. In this case, they gave us Rook, which I'm fine. I like Rook. Rook's actually really fun.
Rook's the best of them.
But then Groove, and I understand the logic because they wanted to try and make the bike more in scale with the rest of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Which I get it, because let's be honest, Groove, put him next to the rest of the Protectobots and you go, what the fuck is this? Why is my bike the size of a sports car? Why is it bigger than my ambulance? And what's going on with a helicopter being so small?
I was going to say, you can't have that for the excuse because you have a shuttlecraft.
I know.
And a tank the same as a car. You know,
I know.
It doesn't work.
But you know, someone at Hasbro, that was actually the logic that they issued to folks, I remember, at the time when they did it. Yeah. Which sucks because
nobody cares. Just give us the thing.
Yeah, and then he forms a piece of chest plate armor as well, which by doing weird yoga poses, which can be a bit of a pain to clip on.
There's not a shot on TF Wiki of the chest piece mode, but like unlike Blackjack, who just transformed into a car and just plugged onto the chest and looked kind of lazy. Like you say, Groove did this weird like contorting his body to in an attempt to make a shape. And it's like, ooh, I see what you're trying to do. I don't think it does it too well, but okay. It looked like a corpse was hanging off of the fencer, more so than a bit of armor.
It really did. It so did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because, I mean, they really wanted to make it.
I can again, you know, they did the best that they can of doing a legend scaled bike. Like doing deluxe scaled bike is not the easiest thing to do. So take a slash at the budget and then make another figure from that. It's like, oof, not the easiest thing. I like the redesigned bike. Like it looks like a nice futuristic kind of thing. Like maybe something Judge Dredd would drive or pilot.
I mean, I could see this bike showing up in Akira in that bike chase.
Yeah.
If suddenly the cops are just stop messing around, they send out their squad.
The problem is that you've just got that weird robot mode where he's like 70% leg.
Yeah, there's a lot of leg there, isn't there?
A lot of leg. He's not great in terms of looks. Definitely looks a bit more on the awkward side, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I like Groove as a Protectobots were my combiner team back in G1. They were the first one I had any figures for. They were the first one I completed, and I've always had a real soft spot for them because they're a search and rescue team.
Yeah,
which itself is kind of novel. So, and even if he wasn't a particularly great example of the line in G1, it did kind of suck a little bit to see him executed this way.
I agree. Victorion got their own version, which was Rust Dust. Not really any changes here apart from the color scheme where he's got red arms and a faded out green and then a little bit of extra detail tampograph paint.
Yeah,
like a
shadowed window details. Yeah. I mean, I do like this deco. It does what it can to not mitigate the flaws of the mold, but it's a decent use of it, I think. It's got all the same flaws, but
I think this looks better than a lot of the color scheme that was used for Victorion as well. Because I don't think Victorion was a good looking combiner. The way that they've put the colors here and arranged them, I think this was fairly decent, at least for
yeah. And I will say, Rust Dust doesn't work too badly as a chess piece. I think because she's much more, because she is using the same colors as the rest of her team. It matches a bit better. It works more as a chess piece.
I can see that.
It's still not perfect, but because they've gone for that unified look for them, it does help it a fair bit. In fairness,
yeah. So visually, this is a bit better. Obviously flawed, but better. Next up, we have Override from Adventures.
This is another one I just completely forgot existed.
Yeah, is he a reference to someone I've forgotten?
Yeah, he's another trigger bot.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be
I mean, it means the only one they didn't do was Backstreet, which is kind of unfortunate. Backstreet was the orange and grey car with the two cannons over his shoulders.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because he would have been perfect as a redeco of Hot Rod or Blackjack, to be honest.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But Override here, the one. Okay, I'll give it this. I like the fact that the QR code is hidden on the inside of the wheel. So it's on the inside of the leg, which is kind of funny.
That is greatly appreciated.
It's still very visible most of the time, but I think it was put in a fairly clever position.
Yeah. I respect the ingenuity there.
Yeah, they didn't just put it on the front window screen of the bike or something.
I mean, admittedly, there's not a lot of places on this mold you could put that QR code.
No.
But fair points for putting it somewhere that in a lot of cases will be hidden.
Yeah.
So.
Mostly hidden at least. Yeah. The color scheme's fine, red, blue, grey.
It's if you know Override, it's Override's colours, and it actually works for him. The bike is not dissimilar to how his bike looked.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Yeah, it's reasonably close. He had some guns with him. That would have been nice to reference the trigger mode. That would have been nice, but never mind. Yeah, this was okay. I prefer Rust Dust, I think.
Yeah.
I'd say. And then we have Rekgar.
Which just feels like they really had a slot in the wave that they needed filling and a bit of budget for the tooling.
A real small amount of budget for tooling, because they've basically made a new head, but it's because of how big the robot is. Yeah, it's tiny. So they've how much of his face is beard to face? It's like 50-50 beard to face ratio. Maybe more.
Well, the thing is, I think they have sculpted his mouth in amongst the beard, but it's so small they can't really paint it accurately.
No. And I will say that the colors are weird, at least on the image here, whether it's the photo or not. It looks like he's not quite right orange, and then like a orange juice colored.
Yeah, I never bought Rekgar, but I did see it on the shelves once or twice, and the colors did not do anything to make you want to buy him.
No,
at all.
No. If you told me you saw this at B&M, like a knockoff, and this was a knockoff, I'd be like, oh no, I can see that. Yeah, I believe that this is a KO version of Overrun.
But it's weird because the crimson they've used for that block around his shoulders, that's actually a good match for the G1 toy.
Yeah.
Of Rekgar. But everything else is just.
I think you were right earlier. If they did a repaint of this guy just into the Akira bike, I think that would have been a better idea.
Yeah.
I think that would have been better than Rekgar, at least. And then you use that the money for, instead of a new head, you just make him red and give him a gun. There you go. So it's Groove, but he's red and he has a new gun. That would have been fine.
Well, you give him a Transformer scale version of the laser rifle that Canada uses at the end of the film.
If you could get the license for that, that'd be fun. Yeah.
I mean, I know that Akira doesn't really get a lot of licensing in that way. Generally, they're surprisingly restrained with Akira stuff, as a rule. Not to the extent they don't go to the extent that Ghost in the Shell or Evangelion do. Put it that way.
Right.
Or most big properties. Akira has kind of retained a bit of its, I'm not going to say integrity, but they've been quite focused on what they do. So when they've done action figures, they've been really good action figures. When they've done kits, they've been generally quite good kits. So they've tried to maintain a level of quality. I'm kind of surprised though that we haven't had a collaboration toy, the Akira bike, that turns into someone from Transformers.
Oh, you mean into like a Transformers X crossover kind of figure?
Yeah, or the Canada bike that comes with Canada, who becomes a Titan Master or some bullshit like that, you know? Because
well, them kids don't know about Akira. Remember, Daddy, who manages my stream, has never seen nor wants to see Akira.
You say that Akira, if I remember rightly, that re-release it had a few weeks back, it was the highest grossing international movie, as in non-foreign language movie, kind of globally that week. Outside of Japan, it did numbers, and that was only on like one shown a night.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to know what the demographics were seeing that movie. Was it just like old people like us, or was it like the young?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Mr. White says, I wish they'd swapped. Oh, I read that one. XL Head says, Override looks like a missing piece of Nexus Prime. You mean the new Nexus Prime, right?
Yeah, he does actually. He does match that deco quite closely, yeah.
Quite well, yeah. I can see that. So that's Groove's done and dusted. Overall, not great. I'm happy to say probably... Yeah, I'd say he's probably one of the weakest, if not the weakest, one of the weakest of the Legend scales.
I would agree with that, to be fair.
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty blech. Pretty blech. And has a bad retool as well, which is not something you usually say. Usually with a retool, you go, oh, that's a good idea, but here it's like, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Another one that I didn't get, but I think we've technically talked a little bit about, was the Combiner Wars Warpath. Because this was
a redeco of Megatron.
That's right. And we talked about the Megatron, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So we don't need to talk about this. He was good. Warpath was pretty solid. Bit of an issue.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah.
We have Combiner Wars Buzzsaw, strangely enough.
Yeah. This was... I'd forgotten he came out in Combiner Wars, because everything he does is to kind of work with next line in Titan's Return.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, because what's he transform into again? It's like a data pad thing, right?
He turns into a PDA, yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? I always imagined
like
it was
PDA / smartphone / Star Trek pad thing, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was thinking like Star Trek pad. It's I don't know,
they say he turns into a forklift as well, which yeah, all right. I'm not sure what forklift they've seen, but all right.
It's like a double forklift. So
I thought it was supposed to be a tank, to be honest, but
I thought it was meant to be a tank, but as soon as you said forklift, I saw the little prongs pointing out the bottom, and I was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the PDA mode itself is actually kind of fun, because it looks like one of those heavy duty ones you get in a lot of construction / retail work. So I kind of dig that. I've done those jobs. I've used those PDAs. That kind of got some of my nostalgia going, he says, with bad memories of those sort of jobs.
Ooh, our love remembering those awful jobs I had.
Yeah. And it kind of also, it's a nice callback to the old Real Robots kind of line, the Real Gear stuff.
Yes,
you know,
from the movie stuff.
It does that quite decently. The vehicle mode is just...
I think if we're looking at like Real Gear and we compare Buzzsaw to Laserbeak, the Laserbeak who transformed into like, what was it, an iPod or something like that with a microphone thing, I think that looked better than this, especially like in quote unquote bird form. In bird form, this is rough.
In fairness, the bird mode is the official bird mode is absolutely shit. However, you can, the way the wings are, you can turn them around 180 and then put them back against the side of the body of the bird, and he looks much more like G1 Laserbeak / Buzzsaw.
So at that point, are you using the little grey bits that are poking inwards? You're effectively using those as the wings, right?
Yeah, and it just works a lot better because, well, for one thing, it has some aerodynamics to it.
Yeah, I believe that.
As opposed to just having this like inch thick block of plastic as the leading edge of a wing, which is just stupid. I think someone on the design team really wanted it to have this look, and then someone else from the team thought, okay, and they just put all the stuff in there to let people do the actual bird mode.
Yeah, because otherwise, why would you have those grey bits in there? Because they don't add to this the official mode. It doesn't add to its aerodynamics or dynamic.
No, I mean, I think
like
the intent, I think, was to try and make it look like the trailing edge of bird wings, which, yeah, all right.
But it doesn't.
But it not really. But like I say, once you rotate those and put the assembly tight against the body, it then, especially when you have the thrusters over the top, which I do like that they're there.
Is that what they are, thrusters? The little forklift parts?
Yeah, they're kind of replicating the engine bit on the classic.
Oh, see, in my eyes, I thought they were trying to do like a peacock back feathers kind of thing.
Okay, I get what you're from there. I don't think that was the intent, but I can see that as being one interpretation of it.
That's how I always saw it, but I think yours makes more sense than mine.
And the thing is, you can actually, if I remember rightly, the sockets in the bottom, well, in the top of those slots on the engines, they will take barrels or missiles. Because I think they are 5 mil, they're either 5 or 3 millimeter holes, so they're standard ones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I can't remember. I think there may have been a limited run of some third party that did do some G1 style cannons to slot in them.
Okay.
But and the thing is, it's Buzzsaw. I'm a sucker for a Buzzsaw because he doesn't really get many toys.
No.
This was so weird though that it came out like it's a Titans Returns toy. And yet it was in Combiner Wars. And it doesn't do anything with the Combiner Wars lineup at this point. It doesn't attach to anything. Even all the functionality is designed to work with the next line coming, which we knew the name of it, but I don't think we'd seen much of the line up to this point.
I can't remember when we actually heard about Titan Masters, to be honest.
But it's a weird one. Like I said, I've never been fond of the official bird mode.
Yeah.
But like I say, if you just twist those around, tuck the wings back in tight, you get a mode that it's still not 100%. It's much more the way that Laserbeak looked on Cybertron more than anything. So the wings, they're a bit more jet-like, but it works. The beast mode head I kind of adore, to be fair, because it's quite a fun looking beast head.
Why does he have a little hat on?
Yeah, that I'm not too sure about. I think it was just to try and integrate it into the disguise. So I think there was something it did.
Bit off, it would look better. Because for those not aware, like imagine a standard Laserbeak head, but then right at the back, he's got this weird like hair clip going like across his head. Like imagine like headphones, but you get your headphones and you put them not on your ears but on the back of your head. It's like it's too far back.
Yeah,
it looks odd just in general. I don't know what the attempt is to do here, but it looks weird. I don't like it.
It is.
That's how I would generally describe Buzzsaw. It's weird and I don't really like it. I like him in PDF mode. I think that's it's a rectangle. It's like congratulations, you made a rectangle. You've got weird forklift mode, which doesn't interact with the combiners at all. So it's not working that way. And then you've got this weird bird mode, the official version at the very least, which isn't very good. And you say an unofficial one looks way better.
Yeah, and the really weird thing is because Soundwave's a leader class in Titan's Return, it means that, yes, Buzzsaw, Ravage, and Laserbeak interact with him, that means that they have to be huge for what they normally are.
Yeah.
So this is actually a really big buzzard
Yeah.
compared to what you'd expect. He's huge.
It's odd. Mr. White says the hat would look better if it could swing back and thicken the neck. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I could see that.
See that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brusso was, of course, redone into, shockingly, two versions of Laserbeak. Oh, Laserbeak, and then the Legends version of Laserbeak, which came with ape face, at least a little ape face. So that's weird. The official Laserbeak, a redeco of Buzzsaw Titan's Return. This was in Titan's
I
Return.
forgot he was so aggressively black.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Hasbro knows that Laserbeak's like red, right? And silver, right? They know that, right?
Yeah.
This is even the screen is mostly black or very dark at the very least. So this is again all kinds of bizarre. And then clearly Japan went, well, what if we just make him into Laserbeak colors? And he does look more normal. They've even colored his little hat in black, and it makes it look more like yeah, it makes it look like he's got like Icarus wings on the side of his head. They're not, but it helps blend it together a little bit more and make more sense.
That looks so much better.
Yeah, they've even on the PDF screen, they've gone through and put
they made it a tape, which is hilarious.
It a tape. It's not really a tape, but you go, okay,
all
whatever,
right.
yeah, sure. It's a cassette. It's a really weird cassette, or it's a cassette in a super futuristic-y box, maybe. But again, this is the best version of this mold. I think it's got the best looking color scheme. It's still weird though. Still very odd.
Yes. The whole idea of all of the tapes becoming data
things,
which also then fit into the chests of Soundwave and Blaster, but not as tapes.
No,
but as
even though they were made to look like tape players.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on in.
Are these meant to be A-tracks? Is that what these are meant to be? Are they A-tracks?
Man, that'd be a weird choice if that was what they were supposed to be. Because who the hell remembers 8-track?
But like that makes more sense than like a data pad going into a cassette player.
The thing is, they have volume controls. They have the start button in the middle of and in the bottom of the thing, like the the touchscreen things did before they got all smart glassy.
No, that's how old tech used to work. You used to have to take out your cassette, raise the volume on it, and then you put the cassette back in. That's how it worked. 100%. That's not how it worked. Odd. All across the board, weird.
Yes,
I don't like
and of course, because it's Takara, they had this weird thing of separating the Titan Masters from the bits of kit they came with in the West.
Yeah.
So you had,
It was an odd choice.
It is.
Also, the Bumblebee cassette pack, which was a Target exclusive, had a redeco of this in two, black and gold primarily.
Oh yeah.
You look at it and you're like, well, this is very similar to the Laserbeak color scheme, but then just swap the small bits of red with gold. And that's about it. And you're like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing, I suppose.
I mean, it's not a bad gold. It's a little patchy on some of the color coverage, which might just be...
It's just, again, boring visually. It doesn't look like anything. It's just,
Yeah, okay. And again, they've done the tape deco on the pad, which just feels a little...
It feels like they looked at the Japanese release and went, I guess the cassettes, aren't they?
Yeah, it's such a... We'll probably discuss these a lot more when we come to Titan's Return, but and the actual leaders, but yeah, it's so weird.
It's bizarre. XL Hedge says, bad photo, Laserbeak had bad red chrome stickers. Ugh.
Oh yeah, they did have a lot of those on some of the Titan's Returns figures as well, didn't they? Yeah, they had a lot of stickers involved.
Mr. White says the shape looks more like a late stage Sony Walkman. Surprised they didn't do that. I get where you're coming from. Yeah. Yeah, this would be my bottom of
free
the
player
pile
sort of
of
thing,
least
yeah.
favorite Combiner Wars Legends figures, easily.
Yeah.
However, the last one is probably my favorite.
He's a bit of a beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Shockwave. It turns into space gun, submarine thing. I think this was the era of when we do a Shockwave, he's not going to be a gun, obvious reasons.
Yeah.
He's going to be close to a gun. Sort
Except
of
this one where he literally turns into a gun for a Combiner.
But it's got wings on the side of it, so it's a ship too.
Yes, a ship with a gun sight.
Yes. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I really like this Shockwave. He's got a few issues here and there. For some reason, with the American version, they went, what if his chest was just translucent plastic? What if his hands was translucent plastic and the gun was as well? Because, the original toy was like that. So why don't we do that here?
Yeah.
I get why they've got the tip of the gun mode as translucent plastic. That makes sense. It's to give the idea that it's an energy effect, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that looks fine. I don't mind that. It looks a bit weird in robot mode because he just has translucent bits like around the top of his knee, but that's okay. But on his hands, on his chest specifically, that's the one where I'm like, but why though? But why?
Yeah, the chest stands out. I mean, I could see it. I could understand it for the gun on his hand, but not his other one. Although I think they were probably gang molded, so that's why they had to do that.
So. Yeah.
But the chest is the real one. Makes you go,
Yeah, but why?
Because it doesn't. Because I think there is some nice detail on that chest plate.
Yep.
And the translucent makes it really hard to tell.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't mesh with the rest of the plastic, which doesn't help because it's a center point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray on the figure as well, gray plastic, which again doesn't help in weird spots. Like for instance, the gray plastic, so his head pegs into a giant gray pad.
I think because that gray, if I remember rightly, it's that plastic that's got a slightly rubbery mechanic to it. It's not a rubber, but it has a little bit of that. It's really hard to describe it, but it has a.
It's not bendy, but it feels like it could take a little bit more pop than you'd think.
Yes.
Compared to the other plastic, it does feel different. That's the best way to say it. It just feels different from the rest.
Yeah, and I do understand why they've used it because it's on a lot of joints and stuff where you kind of want something that's got probably a little bit of give will help. So I do get it, but it is a tad frustrating because it's also a plastic that then you can't paint it.
Yeah,
because it's rubber, they just won't take it. That means that they've. If I remember, I'm not sure if it's the way of photography. I'm sure it is kind of like a silvery rubber as well, not a flat grey. But my memory's kind of failing me now because I'm not sure if I'm being led astray by the pictures or my memory.
And again, when Big D's saying rubbery, it's not really rubbery.
No,
don't think it's like when we've talked about rubbery weapons and they, you breathe on them gently and they start bending. It's not like that. It's just very slightly more give than you'd think it would have.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have it's not going to shatter like the translucent bits are.
No,
it won't.
Funnily enough,
it won't snap as easily as the plastic they've used on the rest of the robot. That purple plastic, which is actually really nice, but it feels good.
Yeah,
that plastic does feel nice. It just, if you hold, you can tell the difference because and it sounds really weird to. I'm getting to chemical engineering effectively, which is not my wheelhouse, but it's the nature of how these things go together. You have to use different materials for different joints. If anyone listening's built a gunpla, you'll have noticed that even on modern kits where they've gotten away from polycaps, you will still find that the plastic mix, some parts are done in a different type of plastic that will sometimes have a bit more of a rubber feel to it compared to the rest of it. Not as hard, not as durable, but it's got that give, which means that it's better for certain elements.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But no, overall, this is a really nice shockwave.
Yeah, it's a great shockwave. He had
Yeah.
a couple of redos. Let's get them all up. 1, 2. Non-model there. Number 3, number 4. Okay, so the other one, the one that I have, is the one that came with the G2 set. The attempt to do I think they touted this as like Action Master inspired shockwave, which it isn't.
That's yeah.
It's not, because for some reason his silver joints have been switched out with a red plastic. But not all of them. His feet are still grey. His hand is grey now, but the gun tip for his hand is orange.
Yeah, and I think the gun and the hand have both been painted as well.
Probably.
So it's weird. I mean, I do like how the chest looks now.
Yes.
Fairness.
Yes, it's if it is translucent, then it is painted, and then it's got like this orange detailing underneath it, which again is not. I mean, again, that's the closest. The orange gun tip and the orange chest is the closest you get to Action Master for this. Otherwise, you just go, I don't get it, but it's nice.
Yeah.
There's way less translucent plastic on it. They got rid of the translucent plastic on the knee, which
makes the legs look. I'm torn on it because I didn't mind it on the.
No, I think it needed something on that part just to break up the purple, especially for the gun mode.
I think what it could have done with, you see that trapezoid bit in the middle of the knee. I think that could have done with maybe being painted silver or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Or maybe just a little, maybe the bit in the middle of the trapezoid, but those raised veins, have them done in silver. Just something to make it to break up all that solid mass of purple.
I'm guessing though that with the chest piece and the ab area, because they've painted the ab area and the gun hand and the hand, I'm guessing that's where all the paint went. So it's like all of the paint budget is like waist upwards, and then the legs you kind of look at and you go, there's nothing here, unfortunately.
Yeah. Which does also mean that then there's not a lot of detail on the gun mode that asked for the barrel, which is a bit of a shame.
The gun's just purple, effectively. Yeah. It's a little much, or a little not anything, unfortunately.
And it is a shame because there is a lot of sculpted detail on the gun barrel / legs.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least for purple's a nice enough material in color that you can actually make a lot of it out. But it would have been nice to have been some of it actually picked out. So
yeah, no, I'm still happy to have this. I think it still looks better than the first version. Excel Hedge says, Combiner Wars Shockwave has a better gun mode for Bruticus than Age of the Prime Shockwave. I'm trying to think what Age of the Prime Shockwave was. I don't know what that is.
I thought it was. Wait, does Shockwave from? Oh, the core class Shockwave. Yeah, that was.
Remember that. Which was
that was. Yeah, they did a core class Shockwave, and he didn't go down well with a lot of folks.
I don't remember core class Shockwave. What year?
Congratulations.
When did it come out? Oh no, yeah, it was Legacy, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has the stupid radar dish. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that wasn't great. Legends did their version, which was Shockwave and came with Cancer, the headmaster, because well, why not? This was colored in the way that sometimes Japan colors their purple figures. Like
very lilac.
Too lilac. Very, very too lilac. And I get why. Because Americas are way too purple. They're way far too on the purple scale than they should be. And Japan almost kind of tilts the other way and it goes way too lilac.
But they have done some nice. So they painted around the edge of the chest piece, which is a nice balance. So you've got the translucent in the middle, but you've got the painted on the exterior. The gun and the hand are still custom translucent, but they painted the hand.
A little bit awkwardly, but it is painted.
Yeah. But what I really like is how around the barrel of the alt mode gun, because they painted that in silver, but it's still casting that translucent red. It means that on the inside, it's got like a metallic red sheen to it now, which I kind of dig.
Oh yeah, it looks much better, and it helps break up the details that we're talking about on the legs before as
Mm,
well. So
yeah,
apart from it being the wrong purple, I would argue this is a very good little shockwave once again.
yeah, yeah.
Nice and
I mean,
posable. Does all the things. Little Legends figure probably should have a good time with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
good fun.
materials wise, it is still basically casting exactly the same materials as the first Shockwave we had in this the Western, the mainline release, but they've gone that a little bit further with the deco, as they had a tendency to do, and the budget to do, because they did charge slightly more for these.
Yes.
But it's nice that it is nice that we've been getting a lot of options in this line so far. So the ones we've liked have been good decos, and then they've been a solid repaint that isn't essential, but you're not going to be unhappy you've gotten it, you know?
Hmm.
And I dig that. I dig that a lot.
Next up, we have the Combiner Wars 3-pack, which I don't remember. Oh, this was released as a BotCon exclusive. That's why I don't remember.
Yeah. I heard about this. And
Yeah, so they did the Shockwave, and they changed the head into a reflector-style head, and then you got 3 reflectors. It's okay. It's okay. I feel the heads are slightly, like, from this one photo, which granted isn't the best of their face. It's not a super close-up, so it's a little bit harder to see. I don't think it's a great reflector head sculpt, but I don't disagree with the idea that they tried to go for here. It works sort of well, I think.
yeah, and I do kind of appreciate how they've encouraged folks to try and come up with fan modes to turn these 3 into a camera, because may God go with you, folks, because I can't see it.
No.
But you know what? They're vaguely reflector shaped in robot mode.
And there's a lot of paint on them as well. They've got loads of paint on the legs. Yeah. They've got like chromed parts as well. At least very shiny silver paint on parts of it as well. So they're nice. I wouldn't say this is like a BotCon like gift set where I'd be like, oh man, I'm sad I don't have it or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, these are all right. These are fine, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, this is another case where no one thought we'd get a decent reflector after these, and then suddenly Siege happened.
I wouldn't say a great reflector, but they were okay. But again, we'll get to those.
Better than we had any right to expect, but we will get to them eventually.
Funnily enough, you can look at the alt mode for that Siege figure and then look at the BotCon figure and kind of see almost like an evolution. As there are like elements to that alt mode, that Shockwave alt mode, to what Reflector kind of sort of has for his not camera form.
That's very true, isn't it? Yeah.
And then is this the last one? There, yeah, the last one is Flash Sentry. I don't know what this was from. Flash Sentry is a redeck of the Legends Reflector figure. Oh, this must be a BotCon thing as well.
Yeah,
which is
it's another one.
Shockwave. Yeah, BotCon 2026. Okay.
I don't like all that translucent plastic. That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Not just that. He's just translucent plastic, apart from his feet, which aren't. Everything else is translucent plastic. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. His shoulders and the bit his head sticks onto is...
specifically the joint parts, the parts that you mentioned are like the rubbery plastic.
And the gun sight, but that's it. Everything else is translucent. And...
Yeah. And he does have a bit of paint on him. Like a bit on his legs and a bit of red around his forearms. That's about it. He's boring in a lot of ways. Like he's crap.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to put him in a situation where, say, I don't know, put him in the cold and take him into a warm environment, say.
You don't want him to explode. Is that what you tell me?
No. Yeah. I imagine he will be dust in a short few years for a lot of folks if he's not already.
Actually, yeah, they're odd. This one feels like shit. We've got 5 minutes before we've got to put our designs out. What do we do? Translucent reflector? That'll do.
How much translucent plastic can we use? Yes,
this much.
Excellent.
Yeah, don't care. We're done. Okay. So that's all the Legends figures, and we can have a quick look at least the first wave of the deluxes.
Yeah,
What a weird spread of figures.
it really was, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have one Stunticon, 2 aerial bots, and a filler in.
Yeah, they really had a weird approach to these, didn't they?
Yeah, the release
So
of these waves
weird.
was not great because I remember Wave 1 hung around forever.
Yep.
You could find Alpha Bravos and drag strips for years.
Yeah. And it's a shame because I quite like Alpha Bravo. I like that they came up with a new character for the aerial bots. Yes, it's using the blades and the vortex as mold. We kind of knew that going in.
Quite a few years before we get the Defensor, right?
Yeah,
a couple of waves
and vortex. Yeah, it took a while for us to get either of those.
Yeah, so this was
more than you'd have
expected.
And yeah, I mean, I do have a soft spot for him. He's a bit weird because, well, the way this design works for rotors, you kind of have to bend them at the way you have to store them in robot mode if you don't want them flipping all over the place is awkward, to say the least.
They hang down by his ass or lower than his ass for some reason.
Yeah, and you can kind of get them to sit inside the tail fins next to the rotor blade, next to the rear stabilizing rotor.
Yeah.
But then you run the risk of, because the rotor blades are cast in that softer, more rubbery plastic, you run the risk of bending them.
Yeah.
So then when you put them straight, they won't be straight, which is weird. I mean, I like how the foot/hand bit forms like an unslung gun mount in the alt mode. That's cute.
I think it's better as that than either a hand or a gun, because I think that was one of the aspects of the Combiner Wars things. The hands and feet were pretty fucking bad, which is why third parties were far better.
Oh yeah, I have a bag still of
Perfect Effect.
Yes. They may not have actually been Perfect Effect parts, but I have a bag full of them. I still need to put on a bunch of Combiner Awards. but I have a fully Perfect Effected Bruticus off to one side, and he looks lovely.
Yeah.
But then you also see, we know that Hasbro did kind of dial in on it because they improved the quality when they did separate hands for the likes of the Western Computron release and for the Seacots.
And even then, they were still not great. They were better, but they were...
Yeah, and you couldn't do anything with them.
No.
Not really. They tried, but they were so chunky that you're limited. And the Perfect Effect stuff, and not just them, other folks who did hands and feet, they're good. They have extra weapon modes you can use them for. But to be functional in the combined mode, they have to be so chunky.
Mm-hmm.
It's I appreciate how Hasbro did make the effort to give every limb a piece that could be used as a hand or a foot. And in a lot of cases could be used to replicate how a lot of the ground vehicles in G1 Scramble City, they had a weapon accessory that would attach to them. And it could be applied to pretty much the entire line. So whether it was a flyer or a car or a tank or whatever, you could have an accessory that would do something with them. How successful they were is another story, but I appreciate that they were trying, because this line had a really high play factor, and I know I see Combiner Wars getting ragged on quite a lot by folks, but for the time, this was a bit of not a revelation, but it was refreshing because we hadn't thought we were going to get combiners like this. We'd seen all of Cybertron Bruticus, and we're like, well, that's a bit crap. Guess we're not getting decent combiners. And then they come in with what is fundamentally I think there's maybe 2 molds for the limbs that I'd say are ranging from poor to crap. All the others.
I thought you were going to say there were 2 molds for their limbs.
Well,
kind of. Sort of.
I mean, they do. A lot of them do use similar engineering, which I think is one of the strengths for Line. That they did do. They got this. They standardized the engineering they wanted to use to get the limb effects to work.
I would say it's a strength and a detriment, to be fair.
Yes, it can be. It can lead to issues where the QC can fail. I like the fact that the actual Scramble City socket that you can see on Alpha Bravo's chest has a ratchet in it.
Yep.
And it's actually a pretty decent ratchet, in fairness, but not aggressively so. I do wish a lot of them had come with more than one gun, because a lot of them are just crying out to have two guns on either side of the mode, as opposed to one lone gun hanging there. But I know that Alpha Bravo got a lot of fat because he wasn't slingshot, and it took a long time for us to get a proper slingshot as well. But I appreciated the fact that they would bring these teams up to date and fit in, give them some new members, you know? So we had him, we had Rook, we had Off-Road, I think, for the Stunticons.
Something like that.
And who else?
You had Blastoff, who was a jet. He was the aerial repaint.
Yeah, I just use him as a different character now because it makes more sense.
Well, here's the thing to note as well. What are the aerial bots generally?
Jets. And Alpha Bravo is a helicopter.
And how fast is a jet compared to a helicopter?
Yes. I mean, honestly, Alpha Bravo should have been painted black with a white underbelly so they could just do the full Airwolf and just say he turbo boost to catch up with the rest of the team.
See, I know a lot of people really like Alpha Bravo, like Excel Hedge in chat clearly likes Alpha Bravo. I never quite understood the hype for Alpha Bravo, apart from, mainly because, like, his color scheme's the most generic, kind of boring color scheme you could give him. He's just a white helicopter, effectively, with a blue
It's more than that. They got rid of Slingshot, and they replaced him with someone in almost exactly the same colors.
There is that as well. So it did feel like, it was the same with Off-Road as well, because he was the Wild Rider replaced. He was mainly gray, but then they changed the red to a greeny color.
Turquoise,
I think.
Turquoise. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's just like, why? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah.
So
it's very.
So when I mentioned or made the joke of like they're all the same, it's because a lot of them are the same, and I said it was a benefit and a detriment. The benefit is, as a kid, all of these are going to transform the same, so you're going to have a really easy time transforming and playing with them.
Yeah.
The detriment is, as you mentioned, because of them all transforming the same way, that a lot of them are going to have QC issues because of that. Yeah, and it also means as an adult fan, or a fan of Transformers over a certain age, like doing the exact same transformation, not only 4 times but across the entire line, can get really dull really quickly. And it's
I do appreciate that. Yeah,
it also limits down like what your Transformer is gonna do. And again, I understand the reason for that, because you want it to be able to be a solid limb. And if you figured out a way to make it transform and it's reasonably solid, okay, fine, whatever. We also have the issue of the way that they transform into the arm pieces. You're basically using the hip joints to support the legs sticking all the way out with a gun and a hand attached to them. Which
the hips don't work brilliantly as elbows, unfortunately.
No, some of them right out of the pack didn't work good as elbows. And then, obviously, 10 years later, within people's collections, they are suffering a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that's why the newer ones are better in a lot of ways. But I like how I have Alpha Bravo, but I have the knockoff version, so he's oversized and he's got metal in him.
Okay.
So he's really nice and chunky, and he feels really good quality, but he's like a Voyager or leader scale by today's standards.
I mean, I have pretty much I've got all the G1 teams. I bought almost the entirety of the Combiner Wars main line, in fairness, because it kind of got its hooks into me. I hadn't intended to, and then it's like, bugger. Why have I got all these gestalts everywhere? But I was taken by yes, for a limitation that almost all of them, the toys in this line don't have any ankle rockers. It was still not a point where that was a very common thing.
Yeah.
However, most of them do have quite a chunky footprint because of how they transform. So that means that they can be more stable than you expect to in some poses. Like you say, because of how they transform, because a lot of them, the legs, concertina inside them, so the knee will normally lock into place in a joint that will either be in the front of the leg or the back of the leg once it's transformed. It can also sometimes be itself on a piece that's on a separate hinge because it's the piece that hinges open to do the transformation. So that can form a tendency to, on some of the figures, for that to come loose as well, especially over time and as they reuse the mold. But as a deluxe figure, I do like how Alpha Bravo and a lot of his wave mates do pose. They're very poseable. You can get a lot out of them despite their limitations, because none of them really have out hand swivels or can hide their hands anyway. But they've got a bicep, they've got an elbow, knees, thighs. They have all the joints you kind of expect at this point. And on top of that, they can combine with varying levels of success, as we've said. But I do think it was bold of them to, one, do this where they swapped out classic characters for new ones, and also to do this thing where the waves were not an entire team, especially as they were such small waves because of how small. Because it was still quite a small lineup overall, so 4 deluxes in a wave.
Yeah,
that's not a lot.
I think it would have been better to do all of the team in one wave, because then you could get all of the team, and you'd need to make sure, obviously, that if you have a box, you have 4 figures in that box, and that's it.
Yeah,
spreading them across multiple waves was not a great idea. Because I'd rather have none of them. Like if we go down like how waves generally work. So you start off with fucking loads of them for wave 1. By the time you get to like wave 5, they're hard as fuck to find. I would rather have a full team be able to buy them than just have none of them. So say like for wave 5 there were the Seacons. I'd rather not be able to get any of them rather than be able to pick up one Seacon in wave 2.
Oh, the way they did the Seacons is itself just a masterclass in how to piss people off.
Obviously, the Seacons weren't released in that fashion.
Yeah.
I could have said anything.
But I get what you're saying.
It's not a great idea, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I do get it because they were doing the voyages. You have to have 2 voyages in the wave, and so they wanted both the initial core. And to be fair, Superion and Menasor are the 2 most memorable of the Scramble 6 combiners for a lot of folks. So I guess it. They're the 2 that had the most face time in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But it was such a weird choice for them to make.
Yeah.
To do it that way.
That's my reaction to it. It's like,
yeah. Also, can we just talk about how comically heavily armed Alpha Bravo is?
Oh yeah, like he's got like 3 missiles per arm for a commercial helicopter.
Yep.
And a gun, and the Gatling gun thing as well. He's got fucking loads.
Yeah, which becomes even funnier when he turns into blades.
Yeah, like speaking of that, there was a fuck ton of reuses of this mold. So one of them.
Oh God, were there?
We're probably going to end on Alpha Bravo actually, just because there's quite a few.
So
of these
many of them.
Yeah, so like we say, we have Blades, who's got a new head and a new chest as well, I think, on top of his combiner joint.
Yes, I think he does.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, no. No, it's the same chest piece.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks different for some reason. New head at the very least. Obviously repainted to be all red, but with then grey pieces for the limbs. So otherwise, all the same otherwise. What do you think of him?
It's Blades. I mean, I appreciate that they actually painted his tail rotor, unlike on Alpha Bravo.
Yes, the paint went to other places for Alpha Bravo, I'm guessing.
Yes, he did have quite a bit of paint on him, in fairness. It's blades. It's a blade that looks like G1 blades, which is kind of all I wanted.
Yeah.
At this point, because I think I said before, prior to Combiner Wars, I was starting to assemble an ad hoc bunch of protector bots out of all the different redecos they'd done.
All right.
So I had the GDO hotspot out of Generations Inferno and the blades out of Cybertron Evac. And I was looking at options to do a Groove, a First Aid, and a Streetwise without going into that weird box set they did, which I didn't really like. And then that's Combiner Wars, and I was like, oh, well, I better stop doing this project then.
No point, really.
Yeah, and it scratched the itch. It was a slight frustration that Vortex blades and blades shared the same molding because they never did in Scramble City, even though they had the same peg. They did have very distinct alt modes from one another.
Yeah.
But I did understand. I understood why they chose to do that because, again, this was a point. Combiner Wars was really quite a big push to. Because they did a bit of a not a full multimedia assault because they didn't have the cartoon at this point. That came a few years down the line, and yeah. But you had the crossover in the comics. You had the toy line. They made it an event in both the Earth Wars and the Legends mobile games. I'm still amazed Earth Wars is still going, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Still doing regular events and putting new stuff in it. And anytime I see anything about the story, it's like, what insanity is this? Because they've just kind of like smushed all the continuities together. It's bizarre.
Well, why not, I guess.
Yeah. It makes my head hurt anytime I approach it, and I just go, nope, I don't have that installed anymore. But no, as blades, it works. Likely's got a new head sculpt. Deco is exactly what I want for blades.
Vortex is just the Alpha Bravo mode, just painted up to be Vortex. I think it's funny how they've tried to paint in his ab area, and he has gray bits kind of poking out the side of that area.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of, you remember the Hot Wheels Transformer things where it's like you get the car and you pick it up and you have the Transformer on the bottom of the car.
Yeah, man.
Reminds me a little bit of that. But otherwise, it's a decent Vortex,
Yeah.
I'd say.
And it's important to remember, for a lot of these characters, this was their first toy since G2, if not earlier, really. I mean, Combaticons admittedly they're the RID, but still.
And then there's the one that I have, which is the G2 version of Vortex, where he's blue, and then the purple camo with the orange eyes. Looks great. Looks very silly in 90s.
Or as I like to think of it, G.I. Joe Eco Force colors.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah.
XL Head says, don't mention the Seacons or Computrons. Those were my childhood figures. Only had Limbot, not cores, I should say. I was so was looking forward to getting them, only for them to be only available through. And then the message would have continued through other means.
They were weird. I mean, Computron, at least, you had the Takara and the gift set edition. So they were. But the Seacons, man, that whole thing with doing them as individual gen selects and then a combined gen selects and then the Takara release.
That's such a shitty
and then the King Poseidon release, which is what I got in the end because I couldn't find the fuckers any other way without spending 300 quid for the whole set. So I dropped 90 for King Poseidon instead.
Back then, that was a decent amount as well.
Well, King Poseidon was relatively, I think it was like 2021.
Yeah.
It was, I think it might have been it was a sale with someone. Might have been Kapow.
Okay.
Someone was having it on clearance. But the Seacons themselves were just.
Mr. White says Furman is still waiting in quotations for Earth Wars. And I have a boxed Vortex still hanging about. What? Mr.
Wow.
White, you just have random things just lying around. Robot looked nice, but didn't want to get the rest. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Excelhead says, or continues on from the last point, expensive methods I couldn't afford at the time. My only other childhood bots were the Terracons, again, limbs only, being the only affordable update.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Next up, we have the Combiner Wars Spinister that came with a recolor of Scoop's Target Masters.
So, I forgot he was.
Yeah, I forgot this was a thing as well.
Collectors Club.
Yeah, it's not bad. There's something weird about his face, and I think it's the way that they've painted the eyes.
He has very wide eyes, doesn't he?
Yeah, because it's using obviously the Vortex head, and that's meant to be a visor.
Yeah, they've painted a gap in between, and it kind of needed them to either paint I think it even needs to be a smaller gap in the middle, or they needed to actually paint the whole face in teal, and then do the eyes over the top, so you had a rim around the eyes.
Oh, the actual face rather than the helmet part. Sorry, I thought you meant the entire
head. Sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's not, again, it's not bad, and it's nice he comes with his 2 Target Masters, but it looks a bit like a custom job, I feel.
It does. It really does, doesn't it?
Like a nice one, but it's not quite there. Then
it's Goldsmith's colors, so that's something at least.
Then there is the Unite Warriors version of Blades, which is way better in terms of its color scheme. It's got a lot more white on it than the American one, which was mostly gray and just hard red for the helicopter mode. This actually incorporates white into the helicopter mode, which makes it look a lot more.
If I had been able to spring for the Unite Warriors set of protector bots, I probably would have done, because this is a really nice deco.
Yeah, like the American one is fine, but we're getting to that point where Japan starts edging Hasbro out quite a bit in terms of like their accuracy and quality.
Yeah.
And everything like that.
And frankly, edging the fans, because
and they also came with really fun, cool comics as well, to be fair. So that's what I enjoyed.
Fun and incredibly weird comics.
Yeah, that's what I liked about them. They were odd. Then we have the two Victorion figures, not Combiner Wars. Obviously, the Combiner Wars, with slight retools to them. We have Skyburst, not Starburst. That's a sweetie that doesn't exist anymore, and Storm Clash. So the difference is they came with a weapon, which was half of a giant sword, and the remolded parts were the missiles were gone on the side of the arms, replaced by a little panel that kind of went around the forearm, and then a little tiny wing that poked out the side. Nothing too intense.
No,
changed it a little bit.
It's odd enough. It's the sort of thing that would have been nice for them to have used on Blades.
Yeah.
Rather than the missiles.
Oh.
Because the missiles are fun.
The entire forearms changed. Oh
yeah, that's right.
The forearms changed and the hand has changed.
That's right, because they did that on a few of the Victorion figures to give them a more.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you know these are female Transformers? Because the hands are open.
Oh yeah, there's that as well, isn't there? Yeah.
Every female Transformer has open hands, never a closed fist. I don't know why. I think you're right, though. I think it's to give the hand a more feminine look, maybe.
I think it's more of a forearms than anything, but even then it's kind of a bit of a stretch, but they did it on Pyra Magna as well. I don't know if they did it on the other two as well. And I mean,
I don't know about you, but all of the deluxes for female Transformers, especially before these figures, all had open hands as well.
They did, yeah.
So that's style.
It's a weird choice for someone on the design team just ran with.
Yeah, they just keep going. It's like, okay, well, fair enough. I'm not a big fan of the head sculpt on this, to be honest. I wasn't a big Victorion fan anyway. I thought the color scheme was generally pretty ugly. and the head sculpts were a little bit on the lackluster side.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate them trying to get a unified colors for the whole team,
They're just
which
ugly
does.
colors.
Yeah, it's a weird. It looks better on the printed page in the comics, to be honest. I think if I remember rightly, the green they tend to make it more of a. It skews a bit more turquoisey, not fully, but it's a bit more saturated than this, which is a bit more of a faded mint color, which it's not a nice color, is it?
Not particularly.
I mean, and even though the head sculpts they're not terrible to say, I do appreciate though that they did give them additional head sculpts.
Yeah, but I'd wish they were better.
Yeah,
you're right. It is nice that they were done, but again, it was to make them look again different and more female compared to the other ones. But yes,
but they did both get a honking great sword though.
Yes.
Because for one of the things I do quite like about the Victorians and Mega Impress set is that they have some fun weapons because they do the whole stick all the weapons together to make a big ass sword and then split them amongst the team, and they just get real weird real quick. It's great.
So as I say, I'm not a fan of either of these two, but then we go on to Luna Club and Moonheart, who I do like, mainly because the color schemes are way more interesting on them.
Oh yeah, the color schemes on these two, and the funny thing is, they're exactly the same head sculpts. They're exactly the same molds entirely, but the decos are just
hitting them. Hits it really well.
Yeah.
I wish we had better pictures of these from the website, but we don't. I think you're right, though. I think the way that they did the heads, and it's probably the colors around the heads that make them look, again, just a little bit nicer, to be honest.
Yeah.
And obviously, I like the Mega Empress set as well. I've chanted for it for a long, long time, but never pulled the trigger because it was way too expensive.
I have that set. I doubt I'll ever part of it because I kind of dig it for, even though it has all the same flaws as the Victorian set in terms of the actual figures and the engineering. But I just love the idea of having this knockoff Megatron clone who's kind of got a screw loose.
Well, here's another reason why you shouldn't get rid of it. When is the next time they're ever going to touch these characters? Probably never. Because I'm not sure Hasbro would dip into these.
No,
team.
If we ever see them return to Victorian, I will be amazed.
You mean just standard Victorian? Because I'd be surprised if we even touch Victorian again.
Yeah, the torchbearers, because that's the only way you're going to get Megatronia.
Yeah.
Again,
and I think that would only be from Japan, right? Because again, I don't think America's going to do them. I don't think.
No, I mean America would probably do the torchbearers at some point. But
maybe.
I'm trying to. I mean, technically,
it's a big investment to do the torchbearers. To be fair, it's a lot of money you'd have to pump into them.
I mean, I'm trying to think because technically, okay, we know they're gonna do Protectobots at some point.
Logically, yeah.
Yeah, logically, they've done 3 of them. They have to do the 4th.
It just makes sense, yeah.
So that gives us Hotspot, who gives us the retool into Megatronia. You've got 2 Stunticons for the legs. If you get blades, that's the arms.
If you at that point, you could use Vortex as well. One of them could be Vortex.
Yeah, use blades and Vortex. Yeah. Go for a bit of extra variety
if you wanted.
So there's a possibility. I mean, I could almost see it as being a Gen Selects exclusive.
I'm not saying it would never happen. I just think it would be a bit of a surprise.
Oh yeah, the likelihood is way off. But as we get closer, because the way the current combiners work, in theory, if the frame will accept, because think about it, Streetwise is basically one of the Streetwise and First Aid attach pretty much the same way as the Stunticons do to Menstrual.
Yeah.
So at that point, well, you have 2 cars you can pull in, you have 2 choppers you can pull in, you have the core. Yeah. It's just whether they think it would sell and how they're market it.
And again, that would
But
be
we've
Victorian rather than Mega Empress. Who I
yeah,
think
but once you've done that,
I don't
Takara
see
would
Hasbro.
go.
Yeah, Takara might do it. Takara might do it. Hasbro wouldn't.
No, Hasbro won't do Megatronia, but if they do Victorian, Takara is certainly going to do a redeco.
You'd hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that set did quite well for Vermont in Japan and overseas.
I think so. Yeah, I'd be interested to know how they did it, numbers wise.
I mean, who'd have thought there are a lot of Transformers fans who are also massive weebs?
Yeah, who knew? And then obviously we have the Unite Warriors Vortex. Oddly enough, with a slight retool, they gave him an extra rotor blade. So instead of
they did.
rotor
Yeah.
blade, he has 4.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works for behind his ass now.
It looks a bit awkward because basically you've got.
It was a bit awkward to begin with, and now you've got like an extra 2 blades. So
you've got an extra set for.
I imagine you just have just 2 blades, like the 2 blades that are closest probably fit between the back fins easier, but then the bottom 2 blades would just like stick out behind his back, I imagine.
Yeah,
that's how it looks like in this one photo.
Or you might, yeah. It's going to be awkward however you do it.
Yeah, and then they colored him closer to the cartoon, but not really, because now he's got like bright blue on him. So
yeah, but I do really like this deco though. This might be my preferred deco for Vortex.
I agree, but this is meant to be your closer to your cartoon accurate version of Vortex, but he's not really accurate color scheme wise.
He's got a bit of reservation on that score.
Yeah, it's more interesting, but it's.
But I kind of dig it, even though it's not. But if you're wanting for accuracy, yeah, it's a tough one on that score.
I still think most people would take this for accuracy over obviously the toy version. I think this is obviously not perfect, but it's like, well, closer to it at least.
This is another one where, again, if I had not already bought the Combaticons when they did the Unite Warriors, I'd have happily gone for these.
Yeah,
because and those big sets they did for the Takara ones were just generally really nice overall.
Oh yeah. No, they were nicely presented. They were nicely painted. It was just good all over. And then the last one was Hepter, which was part of the Unite Warriors. What was his name?
Baldigus.
Thank you, Baldigus set. So he has the upside down G2 Decepticon insignia, which I always thought was weird. And then otherwise he's the same. He's got one brand new gun for some reasons.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know why. And the missiles on the side of his helicopter mode aren't painted, which I guess is to try and make it look more screen accurate and try and like imagine the missiles aren't there kind of idea.
I guess.
It's odd, but that's the only thing I can really think of. Otherwise, it's what you would expect and hope for this kind of repaint. Again,
I mean, I quite like
group is really good in terms of a coherent color scheme as well.
I mean, I really like how the colors work on his face actually, on his head, because that really pops quite nicely. That
the red head, orange mask, yellow visor,
and the yellow being because it is that. Well, it's almost more of an ice lolly yellow in a way. He said, "Try not to call it piss yellow."
To be fair, piss can be made into an ice lolly, so.
Yeah, but it works as a nice contrast to the rest of the colors across the robot.
Why did you say yes to
that? Because I know too much about too many things.
Piss can be made into an ice lolly. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, anything can be made into an ice lolly if it's a liquid.
That's true. What do you and Mr. White talk about on your shows? My God. Is this the stuff he has to edit out? My God, poor Mr. White.
No, I spent years reading encyclopedias as a kid. And
what kind of encyclopedias have? Yeah, you can make piss out of an ice lolly, or an ice lolly into piss, or vice versa.
Ones that were kind of like 1,000 scientific facts and experiments and other.
Oh, I thought you meant like the Encyclopedia Britannica. the 20 volumes. It's like, piss lollies. Mr. White says, "Don't drag me into this." No, you must know. You must understand, Mr. White. You must see.
Yes, I've done too much to him already.
I haven't. I'm always willing to do more. XL Hedge says, "Yep, through Hasbro and Takara, each Decepticon double target master had 2 toys before completing the Autobots DTMs. Megatronia, a better version of Victorion. Hasbro, please give us a Megatronia. Yeah, don't hold your breath. I guess is it plural of Vortex?
Vortices, yeah.
1 hotspot and 2 light speeds, or any 2 Stunticons, and boom, Victorion returns. There you go. Yeah. We're gonna leave it there as our first little toe dip into the deluxes, because there's gonna be a lot like that where it's like, let's talk about this one figure. Oh, 5, 6, 7,
and
8, 9.
all the repaints.
Yeah, exactly, and all the very slight retools as well with it. Big D, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
I am everywhere as David Kelly. Look for either the Weird Beardy Man or the Weird Beardy Man is normally the image I use for most stuff nowadays. And I am a contributor to UKAnime.net. Just put a review up recently for the special release of Akira, which was quite fun. And I do the Fluff and Busters with Mr. White, where we find a film and we try and stay on point talking about it whilst it plays. Do a little commentary for you.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Angel Alita went up a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do the Arnie Classic The Running Man, I think, in the next week, so that'll be fun. And with yourself, I did Sharp. That I think we're going to put up as a Fluff and Hammer episode, because it was a bit more of a hobby chat than anything else.
Oh yeah, that's
but still fun. Yeah. So it'll be a good one to introduce folks to the channel. But Fluff and Busters over on YouTube, if you fancy some commentaries, we're building up a nice little library, slowly but surely. And then for the Fluff and Hammer, I do the deeper dive with Mr. Gruff, where we find an article from White Dwarf of Yore, and we go deep and we dive.
My God.
Oh, and more recently with Mr. George and Mr. Gruff, we've started up the Fluff and Hammer Book Club.
Yay!
First episode went up last month, and last month? No, I think it went up at the end of March, and that was for Horus Rising.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the next one we're thinking of doing Space Marine as a tribute to the sadly departed Mr. Ian Watson.
Oh, you're going to have to talk about a lot of perverted stuff then.
Yeah, Space Marine is a weird, crazy-ass book.
It's a very degenerate book. Very degenerate.
Yeah, it's great, folk, because you can... Anyone who plays Imperial Fist and gets too antsy, you can just say, and remember, this was your first printed book.
There. Shame. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
But yeah, that's me.
All right. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as Decayed Andy. You can find us on the Moonbase 2 forums and all those places as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. Twitter, Twitch, iTunes, Libsyn, Facebook, ccbunker.weebly.com. You can join us on a Sunday on at 9:30 in the evening UK time. Like the lovely people here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, folks.
I'm mildly concerned that PayPal is... my cards ran out on PayPal, and since I can't get access to it, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for Libsyn. So by the start of next month, things might be a bit flumpy. So if I randomly don't put out a show on the beginning of next month, it's because there's been problems with Libsyn. So I'll wait until that happens and see where to go from there. So if you can't get us through the usual means... they'll be on the other places, but if that happens, hopefully I'll be able to sort it out.
Fingers crossed. Do they only take PayPal?
I can't remember.
I know. I've had a few places that only take PayPal, which has been annoying.
Yeah, it's because it was set up to be PayPal for ages, so I haven't checked to see if it was anywhere else. And PayPal's really annoying because it was set up so I had a mobile phone, and then because I didn't keep putting money on the phone, the number got rinsed. So now I can't get access, through the
Oh.
verification, and that would mean having to then contact and go through a load of faff with PayPal.
Yeah, and
I've just been lazy and haven't bothered.
And I mean, in fairness, I understand because PayPal customer service kind of makes you want to do violence to people.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm like,
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, so I'm in no particular rush to sort that out if I can help it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I thought I should mention it to people in case, like I say, it randomly vanishes. Anyway, thank you, Big D, for joining me tonight.
No worries. It is always a pleasure.
Yeah, and I will see you next week, people, for talking about the news. Whatever news may be happening. I can't remember if anything of significance actually happened this week.
Just for yesterday, I think they put up the tease for Missing Link Ironhide and Dark Star Convoy.
And Commander Rodimus Prime 86.
Yeah, which apparently it might be an entirely new toy.
I'd fucking hope so. I'd fucking hope so. So it is funny. But then again, we did have Blitzwing. And he's just a little, well, it's not a commander, but
I mean, I quite like Kingdom Rodimus, but it's a hard sell at a commander price point. The current point they're at, anyway.
I was gonna say, squinting my eyes, they already did that.
Yeah, I didn't pay retail for my Kingdom Rodimus.
No.
Even then, I paid out for a new head for him because the existing head was ass.
Oh boy, was it? Oof. Anyway, we'll catch you next week, everybody.
Yep. Later, folks.
Bye-bye.